Hello, we're in your Pre-Calculus Part 1 textbook. This is found on page 141 of your textbook. This is under Lesson 1.1. And we're looking at Example 5 that says that it wants us to identify intercepts. And so what we do here is, if we're looking at it in a graphic form, of course the x-intercept is where the graph or picture is going to cross the x-axis. And the y-intercept, of course, is where the graph is going to cross the y-axis. So if we look at A here, we're seeing that that it is crossing at -1 on the x-axis and at +2 on the y-axis. So because it crosses at -1, 0, the intercept is, the x-intercept, excuse me, is -1. And since it crosses at 0, 2, that means the y-intercept is at +2. Okay. Now, let's look at B. B is a line that's going straight up and down, and it looks like it's going through the x-axis, so it does have an x-intercept of 3, but because it's a parallel to the y-axis, it's never going to cross the y-axis, so therefore there is no y-intercept for this particular picture. And then again, if we look at the third one, the unique thing about it is that both crossing the x-axis, it crosses at 0, and for the y-axis, it also crosses at 0. So the x-intercept is 0, and so is the y-intercept. It just so happen they both cross at the origin, or what we call x-intercept of 0 and y-intercept of 0. Okay, so let's look at these three and see if we can do these on our own. What is the x-intercept? Well, in A, it's crossing right here at -3. So the x-intercept is -3. The y-intercept in this particular one is crossing right here at 5. So you would simply say the y-intercept is 5. B is a lot like the one we saw in the example B, except for it is a horizontal line. That means you can see here it's going through the y, so we have a y-intercept of +4, but because it's never going to cross the x-axis, there is no x-intercept. You don't put 0 because that would lead you to say that it was going through 0. You just put there's no x-intercept. And then finally, for picture C here, just like again in the example C, both the line is crossing only one spot right here, 0, and that 0 is the 0 for the x-axis as well as it's the 0 for the y-axis. So that means that your x-intercept is 0, and so is your y-intercept. They're both at 0. Okay, pretty basic stuff, but things that you're going to have to just be a part of your common knowledge as you work your way through geometry. Hope this was helpful.